Hi everyone, I'm Dudley and welcome to the Day One video blog. I'm going to start doing something a little bit different with the video blog moving forward. The core fundamental concept of my work is a process called operationalizing leadership values. And what that means is that if you want to live a core value every day, you have to create a strategy to do so. And I think that strategy should have 3 steps. 1, identify the core value you want to embody. 2, clearly define what it means. How would you explain it to someone who had never heard the word before but was highly intelligent? And then 3, create an action-oriented question that if you answer the question in a given day, you will have lived that value. And what I'm going to do with the video blog moving forward is I'm going to feature each week one value, a definition for it, and then give you some examples of questions that you could embed into your daily life and work that would ensure that you live that value. Now, this past weekend, I was at a business conference. And one of the pieces of advice that I gave the students there was this: if you were born with or you develop a skill that allows you to outperform 90% of the people on the planet, you're probably going to make 6 figures. But if you can become the type of person where everyone who works with you outperforms everyone who doesn't work with you, then you're indispensable. And I think that careers are much more enriching, and I think that people matter a lot more if they aim to try to be indispensable as opposed to trying to outperform other people. At the core of that piece of advice is the value I want to talk about today, the value of empowerment. Now, to me, the definition of empowerment is a commitment to acting as a catalyst for the success of other people. And for me, the idea that empowerment is a core value I want to embody played a fundamental role in changing the way that I shared ideas. Because when I started my speaking career, I really wanted to get across this idea that there's a form of leadership to which we all can and should aspire. And so what I did is I talked about stories that I thought demonstrated that idea, that we can all be leaders, how important that concept was. And as I was preparing to give a presentation, I was talking with a client and I was explaining to him what the presentation was going to be about, that I was going to reinforce this idea of everyday leadership and I was going to share stories about how important it was. And he listened for a while and he said, "That sounds good and I think it's going to be engaging. But honestly, Drew, insight is great. But if you really want to help us out, teach us how to do what you do. If you live every day in a way that's going to embody everyday leadership, don't just talk about how important it is, actually show us how to do it." And to me, that was such a fundamental shift. That's how I started sharing the idea of operationalizing leadership values. I didn't just want to say it's important to live leadership every day. I actually wanted to give people a step-by-step process that they could use to do it. And it took practice, like any skill does. And the concept I wanted to share with you today is the idea of being a Skillanthropist. A Skillanthropist, I have no idea if it's an actual word or not, but I love what it gets across. A philanthropist is someone who takes a resource they have a lot of, often money, and gives it away to people. On the same vein, a Skillanthropist is someone who takes a skill that they have, an ability to do something, and they make sure that they teach other people how to do it. And I think that everyone has a skill that they have the ability to teach other people. And it doesn't have to be a big one. It doesn't need to be how to build a house or how to give big speeches. Fundamentally, if you know how to play a harmonica, if you know how to make butter tarts, there is something in your life you're skilled at. What is it that you do that you could teach to other people and give that skill away on a daily basis? That's what it means to be a Skillanthropist. So if the value of empowerment is all about acting as a catalyst on a daily basis to help other people succeed, what are some of the questions that we could embed every day into our lives to make sure you're operationalizing that value? I'm going to give you 3 potentials. 1, what have I done today to make it more likely someone else will move closer to a goal? That sometimes flies in the face of what we feel we've been taught, that if we give away our resources or give away our time to other people, that we're going to end up farther behind. But I think it embodies that concept of empowerment. People respond to people that they feel make them better. So every single day asking yourself, what have I done today to make it more likely somebody else will move closer to a goal? I think is going to create a life and a career where people are often looking to you as someone they want to have around them. The second question is this, as a potential. What have I done today that I wish someone else had done for me at some point in my life? And honestly, I think all of us can take a look and sit down and say, the position I'm in my life and career right now, this position, what does it give me the opportunity to give to others? Think about a moment in your life where if someone had come and given you insight or an opportunity or forgiveness or the chance at mentorship in some way, that your life would have been better. In fact, even though the question says, what have I done today that would have been great if someone had done it for me? Honestly, think about the last person who did something for you that truly made your life or your career better. Turn around and do that for someone else. What have I done today for someone else that I wish someone had done for me at some point? And finally, how have I been a Skillanthropist today? All three of those questions will ensure that you are living this fundamental value of empowerment, a commitment to acting as a catalyst for the success of other people. That's the Day One Leadership video blog. I'll see you next week.